My printed it. Let's see. There it is.
Okay, you are live.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. The time is now 9:01 a.m. I'm Kevin Day, Chair of the Custer County Board of Commissioners. I will call this meeting to order. If you do have your cell phones, please silence them at this time. And if you would please join me for the pledge. Taylor, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Day,
Here.
Commissioner Kanda,
Here.
Commissioner Flower,
Present.
Attorney Clint Smith,
Present.
and Clerk to the Board Kelly Camper.
Thank you. Audience introductions.
Daily Day Wetmore.
And we have,
Oh, and Jennifer Cree, assistant.
all right. And we have a couple of people online. If anyone goes to speak later, if you could identify yourself for the record, that would be wonderful. Amendments to the agenda. I have none.
None here.
Okay, minutes will be tomorrow. And so any commissioner items?
None here.
None here either. Mr. Smith, do you have anything for us today?
No, not really. I prepared a proposed resolution. It's on the agenda as consideration of lot vacations, actually vacating a road. In that subdivision. There's a proposed resolution that Dorothy will talk about.
Okay. And Jennifer, I think you had a note.
I do. So in the change that you made yesterday with the calendar, I did double check with the courts to find out when they have court and if any of our closed days will affect. The 10th, November 10th, which is a Thursday, they have a full docket and our building is supposed to be closed. So.
Well, I would assume their court security person will have a key to go.
So just wanted to see if there was anything that we needed to, do you want me to just make it, let our court security know? And then if there's anything that they need to do to address that.
I could come in and unlock.
Usually the court just because we've been closed on other days.
Yeah,
And they just handle it.
They handle everything.
So
Yeah,
I don't even think they open these.
See,
doors.
the
I think
issue, yeah.
They just open that
Yeah.
one as well, from what
I
I
talked to Halpin about that. He said, man, it's just very awkward to have people come through the courts and then into the hallway for a conference or into the. So I don't know, we have a new court security officer, so maybe we ought to talk to her and see what she thinks, but I could come in and open the doors if necessary.
I'll just put it on there. Just bring it to their attention. So then I just wanted to make sure we did.
Please. County will not be here.
Correct.
Tell her to reach out to me if she wants to have a conversation about that.
Okay.
She may be fine with letting them come through that court door, but Halpin wasn't very thrilled about that because it's pretty disruptive.
Yeah, if they're in the middle of one
Right.
and having somebody show up to the next one or something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for remembering that.
No.
I remembered it right when I was going to you that you had a note on that. Okay, public comment. If anyone has any comments that, about something that's not on the agenda, feel free to do so at this time. Don't see anything in here or online.
I mean, we got online.
1,
There's 6
2,
total, but a couple outside.
Okay.
Okay, staff reports.
Before we
Oh,
move into that, sir, if I may, would you entertain a motion to amend the agenda to change item G under new business?
I would.
I would move that we change the wording on item G to consideration of a road vacation. Do you have that road name by any chance?
Dublin Lane.
Dublin Lane.
Dublin Lane Road Vacation. So consideration of Dublin Lane Road Vacation.
I would second that. Any further discussion on that?
None here.
I would just say that, good catch, I guess, because it's not a lot line, it's a road. Okay. Those in favor of changing the wording on item G to consideration of Dublin Lane Road Vacation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
you bet. Our first staff report would be the VSO. Is he out there by chance?
I didn't see. I didn't see him.
Nope. I can shoot you an email real quick.
Okay. You never know whether to be here early or late.
Yeah, it's not too early. Or too late.
Okay. Good morning, how are you? I'm well, thank you. Staff report this morning or no? Oh, okay, no, he's out in Centennial Ranch, so.
He is or isn't.
Hold on just a second. He's 20-30 minutes out, he's helping a veteran on a fencing project.
Move it to the end and see if he can get in, or does he have a
We
report?
can either move it to the end, or if he wants to bring his sheet in tomorrow, we can do that.
You wanna come in later this morning or tomorrow? Yeah, no hurry, then we'll deal with it whenever you get here.
Get a hold of Braden.
Okay,
Huh?
thanks.
Get a hold of Braden.
oh, Braden is out sick,
Oh, it is.
so
He was standing in the corner too long in the cold in his fishing outfit. I like last
he
night.
was.
Brain too much candy.
He
Braden
probably too much
said-
candy.
Not feeling well, staying home, don't have anything to report except that I'm working on the budget for us to go over next week. So And then he spoke briefly about SAR, when we go over that. That he's looking at finding it in capital improvement.
I did say
If
that.
nothing else, we can use general fund balance. For
Okay.
SAR.
I guess if you could maybe get a hold of Vince then, and you might.
mean,
talk
bring
to
donuts.
Vernon and Dorothy and tell them we're moving the schedule up. I would move
I'm
that,
gonna call Vern first
okay,
and miss.
Might be short and sweet. today.
might be.
Welcome.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
watching.
Thank you for jumping up to fill the slot.
How are you?
Glad I was watching it this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, if you can go ahead and get Vince on his way, 2441. Or. No, that's over here, that's. Go ahead.
Wet more.
2281.
Thank you.
How you doing this morning?
I am well, thank you. Just
Good.
balancing my phone.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I don't have a lot to report, but I will talk a lot if you want me to fill some time.
No,
Okay.
the shorter the better.
Well, my report says it all. We're, yep, moving forward.
At the commissioner's office.
Oh, good morning.
Let Vince know
I hate
you're way
Google
in-
Workspace.
I hear
Make me a
that.
believer.
I hear that. Well,
Bye-bye.
security. Redundancy. And let us all pray at the altar of Google.
Yeah,
So there's a fun little video if you ever find the time. It's an Australian movie or YouTube thing from about 12 years ago called Google, and it shows all of the Google investments in all of the tech and bio infrastructure around the world. And then as it switches over, it's Darth Vader's helmet. It says Google trying very hard not to be evil.
well, it didn't succeed.
Yep, they won. Actually, I'm a firm believer if you can point to a problem, it's probably not the problem, it's probably the smoke screen in front of the problem.
Yeah.
We focus all our thoughts on Google, but the reality is that Amazon, AWS is much larger than Google. So,
Well, there's always those key buzzwords when you're trying to get something done.
Mhm.
Security, safety, it's for the kids.
there you go.
Yeah,
Well, and that's true. That's one thing that's been really stressed to me over the last little while is what does our security look like? What does our infrastructure look like? As I note there, we're looking at new firewall infrastructure, both integrated as software and hardware. We do have hardware firewalls, but we're looking at stepping up to the next level, actually jumping a couple levels. So it's in the budget, it's in the money that we got from ARPA, so it's not an expenditure that we didn't plan for, but it's just a lot of work that has to be done. So we're moving forward that way. Threat management, we're working with stakeholders from the state as well as Fremont County that, as you know, had a big data breach. So they're still not even operating at 100%.
they figure out what happened, how they got in and all that. Do you know anything about it?
Like I said last time, it's a long con. They're not being really open about how it happened because the infrastructure is still vulnerable. So but looks like it was a multi-layered approach of phishing. Somebody put something on their computer that they were able to data track and then slowly worm their way through the system. So we operate in a completely different manner. We're not centralized. We talked about email hosting and stuff like that, which we don't do, website hosting, which we don't do. So it's not centralized. So we have a much more diverse architecture. Meaning that if there's an infiltration over here, there's redundancy over here, so. We could go into executive session to talk about that a little bit, but it's not really necessary as long as we're.
Once you log in.
Exactly, exactly. Theirs was so bad because they actually went in and affected routers and that type of thing. We have redundancy to that if there was an attack of that level, it's called a denial of service attack, which is something that in elections we're really concerned about. Not that it would interfere with elections, but that it would slow down the election process. So we have redundancies to mitigate that if it's something like that happens, which we're going to be, on scene the whole time to make certain that everything runs smoothly.
I want to find me a job where I can say, we're not gonna talk about that.
I will give you IP addresses and spreadsheets if you like in executive session. Yeah. So, the administrative side of the month and a lot of my work is creating the emergency operations annex, it's part of the emergency operations plan. I'm working with Adrian to work with that. We're going to be doing that in the CES meeting as well, because part of the plan is to include all the stakeholders. So we're not the only ones that have a cybersecurity infrastructure. Road and Bridge, Round Mountain Water, they all have computers. So I'm going to have to be working with them and everyone to make certain that all of our data is secure. So that's part of the CES meetings going forward. Let's see. Took another cybersecurity course from FEMA, and I'm working with the state experts as well. As soon as we're done with the finished with the Google migration, we're going to be doing some infiltration tests, as well as everybody's favorite email phishing tests. So don't click on strange emails. So,
Well, speaking of that,
mhm.
what's ClearGov?
ClearGov. It's familiar. I'm not.
I got an email here.
Okay.
I get a lot from ClearGov.
Do you? Says they got a new release. Click here for details. Is it something bad or is it?
That
I've not
is
seen
one that I believe that Braden,
Is it because of
that's the one that Braden
That's
came
what I-
in
The
with.
budgeting
Yeah.
software. Okay.
So you get dear Kevin? It says
Yeah.
hi Bill. They're saying hi, Kevin.
The
Got a new release here. Click here to read the details, and that's it.
but I have not been opening those because Braden is the one operating that system, and so I don't figure
I
out.
don't carry it down all like I was worried about it.
I'll get with Braden and see if you're all supposed to be included in the emails, or I'll get with Braden and find out.
Kelly's got it.
Good to call.
Yeah, I just never. That's because I know it's not.
I just throw them out.
Gotcha.
But if it's
Mhm.
coming in and it's something that we shouldn't have somebody to click on
Once in a while, fire.
Right.
Understood.
it, throw it away.
Working with Road and Bridge to put in the new computer for the fuel system. Working with the sheriff's office to put in the new mobile fingerprinting system, which is it's fun working with the state. And CBI. So, excuse me. And then court security, looking at an upgrade for court security. There's new grants coming down the line to make certain that the courts are secure. So
Does that include those cameras, outdoor cameras? Because I got an email again about, if we needed to write a grant for any of that.
we do have the cameras on site. I just need to get an electrician that's willing to come out and do the work. So
Good luck.
yeah. 6 months. So that's where I'm at with that. But this is actually new. This is new. An upgrade. There's new grants coming down that are specifically for allocated funds for cybersecurity. So be working with them to upgrade that.
You mentioned new court
Yes,
security.
indeed. Yeah. I met her first day. When she started with jail. So I'm very happy for her. Yep. And that's my life in a nutshell.
And your ARPA funds, you're talking about the funds that you were allocated the first round.
Yes, sir. They're pretty much spent and now it's just, I'll be getting all the documentation and entering it in so that,
So when they get our new computers,
Well, I don't know when, do we have money in the budget is there money in their budget for? a
you already
computer?
spent it.
Well,
Excuse me.
as long as it comes out of IT, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I'm watching. your
Oh, yes, okay.
I don't need one, thanks.
I know.
Okay, I'll keep looking at the blue screen of death every now and then.
You know,
I'll be happy.
I'll look at all the funds and see what we can pull out for a new computer for you. I think we definitely need to do that.
And a mouse, don't forget the mouse.
Okay.
You guys are short
You
on
don't
mice.
like the mice?
I lost it and he couldn't find it. so.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I will get a new
My
mouse.
cat got it.
Fantastic. All right, I'll work on a new computer for you, sir.
Status of recycle grant or the computer for recycling.
That should arrive tomorrow or the next day. Yep, I ordered that laptop a week and a half ago. Interestingly, things came faster from Dell than they did from Amazon now.
Dell's on top of it. You get all these
Dell is, yeah.
updates all the time.
Amazon, it was a bait and switch, that free 2-day shipping and then that went away, so.
So the fuel system, road and bridge, is that mostly a technological changeover? Or is there hardware involved?
Tech and hardware.
Yeah, it's gonna be hardwired. Right now it's wireless. But it's gonna be hardwired.
You're gonna bury a line from the,
The company that's putting it in is gonna do all the trench work and electrical work of their own peoples.
No pump changes or anything.
Yeah, brand new pumps.
Oh, really? Wow. What are we doing with the old?
I think firing, they're taking them back for trade, like trading.
Are they?
Yeah.
Hoses too?
Mhm.
Cool.
Can't have any.
I want one.
all right, sir, very good.
Just do a little Christmas shopping.
Well, sir.
Thanks, Robert.
Well,
I don't know about your end.
I'm just glad that we could be here.
Yeah, make that too.
Yeah, exactly. Another $2,000 expense there. Thank you.
You have 2 computers now, Vernon.
Yes, I think so.
You would be up, sir.
Morning.
Thanks for
Nice
for running
spread. I
over.
see Denise dressed you well today. for the
Yeah,
meeting.
How are you? Good.
Well, as you heard, the new pump system's going in, start November 7th. Which is on Monday. The gentleman I talked to said it's gonna take 5 days to put it in. So I'll probably come in Friday and unlock the gates for him, so he can complete it.
So that's through the whole week.
Yeah, and then Sherry got a hold of all the vendors that use it, so they'll have to go somewhere else.
And you too.
Yeah, I already got that worked out, so we got fuel out that Pitt will use for the trucks and the graders, and we'll fill our pickups out there to fill the equipment.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't be any longer than a week.
Yeah, I'm hoping, yeah,
Never is.
no,
First of all, there's a major snowstorm coming.
You get things squared away with the
Actually,
guy
there
that
is
wants to
some
put in those electric gates.
he hasn't called me back, and I don't know if he's been in touch with Kevin or not. Has he been in touch with you?
No, I haven't heard anything. I was
He
just.
built his pillars, didn't he? Are they in the way?
Yeah,
Are they too black?
they're too close to the edge of
Right.
in the road. Trucks and trailers can't get through.
When I spoke to him last, I guess, I told him that my answer would be no as well. He said that he would pursue it further, but I haven't heard anything since.
Well, is he gonna have to take down what he split up? I mean, if it's blocking there.
Yeah, they need the posting to come out of there because it's, when you go through the gates, they're on a kind of a curve.
Sounds like another letter from you.
Well, I hadn't sent any letter yet. So it's not resolved and he still wants to try to do
I haven't
that.
been up there since I talked to you a couple of weeks ago.
Okay,
Well,
I'm just curious.
take a trip up there and see if he pulled the post.
They didn't.
If not, I guess we probably need to communicate with him.
Yeah,
I think you said, somebody told you that he pulled the one opener
the
off.
one orange gate had an opener on it, and then when I talked to him that day, then I talked to you, I went up there the next day and the hydraulic cylinder was pulled off the gate.
So,
And we're
So
just,
how wide does it need to be for them to? Or can you even put them in there at all?
well, I don't want
Can't put 'em-
electric gates across the county road, because it's private property up through there, and
And it is a county road,
yeah.
Yeah.
We grade it
unmaintained.
once a year grade.
Can't put it across.
No.
We need to get the strong arm on it.
I'll call my buddy Frank.
He's got some generals working for him.
So right now, we're just getting ready for winter time. As soon as I get with you guys, I'm gonna go put tires on a plow truck, get the plow truck ready to go today. Graders, we're down 2 graders, as I showed you yesterday. For the one price, the parts for the other one are in tomorrow. So should be able to have that one running hopefully next week.
We doing with the old plow truck at the airport, we get it out there.
Not
Put
yet,
it on a
yeah.
lot somewhere.
And then I needed to call you, but I'll ask you now, there's a pickup at the Veterans Fair or something. What do you guys, that
Two
long?
vehicles over there, they both need to go.
Okay. Cause Chris and I are working on that right now on the stuff that needs to be auctioned off.
Yeah, I think Jared wants both of those vehicles gone.
Okay.
I'm not sure about landfill.
The trash truck, the yellow trash truck. Needs to be gone because it's just sitting there.
I think so. I mean, we've got to quit hoarding these vehicles there.
Put a sign on that old airport plow truck that the rats and the weeds are free.
Okay.
no,
Yeah, we're gonna just haul it in. It's just gonna get sold as is.
As is.
Yeah.
The last time I talked to Brian at landfill, he thought that truck could go, so.
Yeah, I'm just working with Kelly right now, getting VIN number. I gotta get her VIN number so we can get all the paperwork.
And I wonder about the van for public health. I don't,
The Ford van?
the one with the lift. Are they
It's,
gonna
they
use
got
it
a
or-
deal, they got a lift for it for like
Yeah, it's up,
$500. or
yeah,
whatever.
somewhere up north.
Yeah,
It's
they're
gonna
gonna swap them.
where it was gonna go up for another lift.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Chris is gonna take it, is it next week? I think next week it's going.
Yeah.
Well, I would support getting rid of any of these old vehicles.
Yeah, because it's just, because that one pickup that's over there, Chris told me yesterday, they make it operational, $4,000.
And you're talking about a live auction or?
Just a bid, through the paper, I'll just put the vehicle numbers and if they got problems, I'll have to list them, to be
Do a
honest.
steel bid.
Yeah, and then they can just bring them, and whoever's the highest, I open them up and call them. And the question to you, the equipment that belongs to the sheriff's department, does that money go to them? And the stuff that goes to road and bridge, go to road and bridge, the stuff that goes to landfill, goes to landfill?
No, it all goes to the commissioners.
It does?
He said it with a straight face.
So,
It's a great question and Byron and I talked about it. I don't know, I would say it should go to general fund, but
Yeah, it should,
so all the checks just go general fund,
because then it can be split across anybody that might need it.
okay?
County equipment.
those departments may think differently, but VSO won't care.
See, we got like the sheriff's vans for the airport, for example, and shared across rather than selling
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I was gonna break it up between the departments, road and bridge, sheriff's department, landfill, airport, go back in their funds.
Well, their budgets that probably acquired those initially, but
That's the way I looked at it, since it come out of their budget to buy the equipment.
Yeah, it's still all county. It's.
Okay, it's up to
We
you guys.
gave the departments the money in the first place.
So go general fund then.
I think it should, actually.
So the checks will be made out to just Custer County, huh?
You take the blame, don't be blamed.
I'm used to it, that's fine.
Sorry, guys, I'm just one of the guys.
And the basic, we're just getting ready for winter. We're just gonna keep working on roads till we can,
Frost isn't too deep yet.
you know.
Herbert Road, huge improvement, huge improvement. People will appreciate that this winter and next spring particularly.
And then I'm gonna crush next year out of our pit.
You're not oiling any roads anymore.
No, it's too cold.
Way too cold.
Yeah, we had to quit earlier this year because it got too cold on us when we shot.
Looked like you were shoving it on it and barely made that school field.
Yeah, when we was looking at the temperature of the hot road, when we was covering it, it was 45 degrees.
Yeah,
It's too cold and it wouldn't warm up to pass.
so
Yeah, so we quit. We're just wasting material and time.
Any chance a blade would be going by recycle center?
Yeah, that Brian requested one.
Talk to you
Yeah,
about it.
so we're just down so many blades. We just
Got it.
can't get over there.
If and when it was convenient.
Yeah. Well, we get these blades, but I told him we'll be out there. I think Rusty's gonna run it or something.
Okay.
We're just down too many blades.
Need some help.
Yeah.
So would that be? That's landfill, it's a recycle center. So,
No, well, it's recycle center.
but well,
The work was gonna be on the recycle side.
okay.
And then plus they needed the blade to do to cover grade the final coat on one of the pits.
Okay.
So ramp it, so
That's what I thought I was hearing two different things
yeah,
here.
so it'd be out there doing both.
Rusty was running it, it would have been landfill, I thought.
Well. Yeah, Brian and I talked about it. If Vince was okay with it, he'd be fine with Rusty doing the recycle side. So
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
we,
Sounds good. We'll get rid of some high dollar stuff so that we can get more money back in general.
Well, that grade all was, when that grade all was purchased, was 15,000. That I don't think we're gonna get even close to that. I got it price tag, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
So,
don't have 10 hours on it, does it?
Not very many. So I'll do the best I can. I got it price tag, so we'll see what happens. I might get half of the money that was bought for. I might
see what happens.
Yeah, and you can reject any of those bids if you want to.
Yeah.
We could decide to wait,
Yeah,
but
doing the driveway business.
you?
you'd think maybe an HOA might be interested.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping, so.
Yeah.
Before you go, I got a news flash. I know what's wrong with Braden. The results are in from the 2022 Chili Champ, and the Chili Champ is Braden. So he was tasting it too much, too long. Number 2 is Chester. Actually, Dorothy back there in the back is number 2. And 3, the runner up was Laura.
I expected one of the judges to call
I
off.
can't.
Chili belly.
I can't. I got too much work. So. And then the new mechanic we hired is working out fine. He's really, he's doing a really good job, Daniel.
Good.
Doing really good.
Great.
Yep.
All right, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna go to work.
Have a good one, Vince.
You too. Thank you.
Good luck with your equipment shed. I saw you working on it.
That's hard by myself.
Oh, I'm talking about calling and saying, dude, I'll come down. Because
Switching track.
I think for it. I'll have to.
Did say that Kevin Day was very good, but it was cold. It was still tasty.
I got an almost honorable mention.
Not even honorable. It was tasty.
Well, that might have been part of the vacation.
Then how did you do that?
Or we did the
We're,
vacation.
we're vacated.
Turn us on.
That's the main thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Prior to that, we vacated some wildlife.
Okay. Everybody good for now?
Yep.
Okay.
My next,
Yep, you're up.
all righty.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you? Morning, sir.
Good morning again.
Hey, Dorothy.
Morning.
Come on in, hon. You can come in.
Well,
It should be so much talking in the.
it's been. First of all, I'd like to introduce you all to, before you sit down, to Delana Crawford. I made a job offer to Delana late
Okay.
last night. And she's accepted the position of zoning clerk.
So tell us about Delana. Who the heck are you and where do you live?
I have been here my whole life.
Huh?
My parents are Emo and Bobby Roy.
Ah,
And
Spell Delana.
it's DELENA.
And then they.
And my son says that she's a really great person,
Okay,
so,
that clinches the deal.
Stamp of approval, right?
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Glad to have you.
She's been a very positive addition so far. She's been helping out and I'll give you an example. She's collected quite a bit of use tax and we even had one guy yesterday. I'll let you tell about it.
He was just super excited. He's building a really big home and he was like, I'm so glad that I'm gonna be keeping the money in the valley and anything I can do for my community.
Wow.
And yeah, it's awesome. Like everybody has been coming in and just super excited about not paying Pueblo County for use tax with paying us. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, good.
Well, great atmosphere over there and every time I come through there, just get a good feeling, so.
Yeah, it's going well. Just to run through my monthly report, we are sitting at 13 septic inspections.
Please, do we have it? I haven't even looked,
Yeah, they're there.
so. I'm sure I'm the only one that didn't have it.
I did not see it. So, was it in the board pack?
I'm hoping.
If not, I'll make it. I didn't get it.
I got the agenda and the road and bridge.
We got a nice email from Chester.
I apologize
No,
for
I
that.
know why. It's 'cause
I
you
did
did
it
it
from
at home.
home. I really struggled
Start calling
with,
him Chester.
that's where that came from. Now I get it. That's fine with me.
Yeah, we
We're
don't.
so sorry.
don't have
Let me
copy of
move
it
it
yet.
over.
She's gonna mow it for.
Okay. You want to make copies? Would that be easy? Sorry, my apologies. I didn't get it. I ran it yesterday morning before the end of the month, and when we had that big permit go through and we decided we were gonna run it again, so
It's on.
it was a little late coming.
Your rates are on in your email.
Yeah, and I made some adjustments to that. I
So this spreadsheet
struggled
that you
with,
got,
yes.
In there, if you refresh, you'll be able to see it.
Thank you, ma'am.
so
Welcome.
This is the same thing that you.
Yeah,
Is this something you've changed already?
No, that should
This is
be
okay.
current, yeah.
You got her now, by golly.
Okay, so we're sitting right now this month at 13 septic inspections. We did 2 special conferences. Mainly they were for STRs. We've done 15 compliance inspections, so in other words, going out and verifying that the home is ready for their final letter. We've had 5 violation reviews. One of them being the cease and desist, and 1 more to come. That's not listed, that'll be there next month. The septic permits, we've done 11 so far. Zoning permits, 22 dwellings, so we've doubled that from last year this month, so that's coming up. I was surprised at that number. We went back and validated it, so.
When they started those earlier.
Yeah. Non-dwelling was down. We only had 11, and then our total zoning permits was 33.
So an example of a non-dwelling that you dealt with in the last month or so. Barn,
Just a lot of barns, sheds, anything that's not a dwelling that's over 100 square foot is what falls in there.
That will be used as dwellings anyway.
And that's will be part of my topic today.
is there any distinction of whether it's on a foundation or not. I'm thinking about these portable buildings. I just happened to see one on a piece of property this morning that I didn't see last week.
They should still permit anything over 100 square foot, whether it's a dirt floor or cement floor.
So they slide it off the trailer and put it on the property, use it for a horse barn if it's over 100 square feet.
Correct.
Thought it was if it was on skids, it's not. I don't know.
If it's on wheels, like if it's a
No,
tiny
sitting on a-
home,
Sitting on, it's not a home, I'm talking about just some of these sheds, these running sheds. If
What's the
it's,
name of those buildings?
if it's over 100 square feet, it has to be
Custer kind of
permitted.
thing.
yeah, that's on skids, you know, there's not foundation, it's not got poles planted in the ground.
But it's not on wheels,
On wheels.
then it would need to be permitted.
Yeah. Okay,
If it's movable and it's on wheels, it
People
does
are
not have to be
confused about that.
permitted unless they're using it as a. Like I'll use an example, a fifth wheel. If they've skirted it, then it needs to be permitted as a dwelling.
right. I just an open three-sided shed.
Then that's different,
That's what I
but
thought.
it still needs to be permitted. It would be as
It's a
an open
different pay rate.
dwelling.
So what is it? So it's on skids, three sides, run-in shed for a horse.
Still, it still needs to be permitted, but it's at a cheaper
That's what I
price
thought.
because it's open.
Same way with carports.
Correct.
So.
Correct.
I found that out.
Hard way.
I think we knew, I asked before.
You
I asked before.
Don't ask if you can't
We
stand
haven't
the answer.
started it yet anyway, so.
So far this year compared to last year, we're down on our septic permits. The dwelling permits are running about the same as last year, just 2 under. Non-dwelling, we're down, which surprises me. It seems like we have a lot of those permits going out the door, but it is down from last year. And total zoning permits is down slightly.
Another quick question for you. if I may. So these shipping containers. They need to also have a permit.
Yes, sir. Anything that is occupying land is a good way to put it. So if it's over 100 square foot and it's on our land, their land, it has to be permitted. Overall fees we're running similar to last year, just about the same thing with the septic permit fees. Our use tax is up significantly. We're at 13,440 and 24 cents. So excited to see that. Other income, we're running right at where we were last year. And I'm assuming, I'm not as familiar as to what all goes into that. But I will look into that, figure that out, because it's about the same, but everything else seems to be a little low. So I'd kind of like to understand that a little bit more. Our total income is at 328,000.
Yeah, good.
So we're
A little bit
looking
more than
good.
last year.
Yep, we're looking good. State surcharge fees is down. That's because our septic permits are down. Really, everything looks pretty good
Is
compared to
that
last
number
year.
in the top number? Is it added in there?
Which one?
Where do these fees, are they separate to this total?
Yeah, this state
So-
septic surcharge fees, that goes right back to the state. So we pay them,
Pass-through.
it's $20.
I thought it's, but it didn't.
It's $20 per septic that we put in, and then that's paid back on a quarterly basis right back to the state. So it's not income to us, it's a pass-through.
So how does Braden handle that? Cause even pass through stuff he's been booking, I wonder,
That would be a Braden question.
but he's sick. All right,
So septic permits from last year were down. Again, same thing with dwellings, were right about the same. The non-dwellings were down a little slightly, and then total all permits were down about a few. Yeah. So looking pretty good, keeping our income up where it was last year. I'm hoping to come up just a little bit more before the end of the year.
I have a question for our director. Kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop on the guy that complained about vacating that PUD down at the airport. Have you heard anything more on him? Mr. Van Busker is the one that.
I have not.
Just because he said he was gonna, do something about it. I explained my legal reasoning why I thought it was okay the way it was done. And I haven't heard anything back from him yet, so.
And Mr. Good came in here.
Yesterday. I ran into him
Yesterday.
at the door and he said he was talking.
Yeah, and he was wondering the same thing, and I said, as far as I know, I don't have anything that's been approved by the board members. And he said something happened at the HOA. I said, well, there's nothing that the three commissioners have approved or changed.
Okay.
So that's the only, that's an update for you.
I'm still kind of waiting for that thing to rear its ugly head somewhere along that line, but. Guess we'll deal with it when it comes up.
Yeah, I have not heard any more at all. Hey. Other part of my presentation today is to request that we increase our overall rates. And I kind of,
We're gonna do
I'm
that in a
sorry.
minute.
oh, sorry,
That isn't.
Okay.
It's a.
I thought I was back to back. Okay,
You have to be last.
I will excuse myself and come back up. Like jumping ahead.
That way we get to just shake hands more. Tom's trying
Thank
for a
you.
new computer.
I know.
Yeah, he is.
Vernon got it too. or maybe-
Okay. All right,
Thank you.
Thanks, Dorothy. Okay, when Jared shows up, we'll fit him in when he shows. So we will move on at this time to unfinished business. I have none.
I'm here.
Okay, so new business. Consideration of funds for the SAR remodel.
So you didn't have to wait too long this time.
How are you, sir?
Good,
See you.
good. Nice. Guys are,
Good to see you again, I think.
no, well, I'll be nice. I mean,
Okay.
you
You didn't bring any mold in with you.
No.
did you?
I was just there. We just had a meeting with the contractor and our board. So,
Yeah, interesting enough, we were in a meeting yesterday afternoon and I saw the mold mitigation truck sitting out here.
yeah, they painted the sill with some kills, I guess, to block in any. Because mold kind of penetrates stuff and that's why you just want to rip stuff out and redo it,
Yeah.
But they mitigated that part of it, so. You couldn't have replaced it anyway, because it's shot in with how they shoot nails into the concrete, so that would be like, it'd come out little splitters. So we had the framing ripped out on that window and we're doing another window. And his estimate doesn't reflect some of the extra work that he's already done. This is what's in the future. So he's put in I guess he hasn't given us a breakdown of that, which I had asked for just this morning. So, he's been very good about responding to the any kind of estimates or whatever. And so it's like 12 hours, I'd say, that is not on there. And then, that only addresses the 6 windows that are the major problem there. Because the reason they're so bad there too is you have 3 windows above 3 windows. So they're leaking above, right? And then they transfer that water to already leaking windows, and then you have
Twice as much.
right, you have, because in Custer County, it's like, or in this altitude, it's pretty dry, so it's hard for this stuff but it's like a pole barn construction, but then as soon as you put the sheetrock on it, it traps the moisture, and then that moisture starts growing. And sheetrock's like food, for mold. It loves that stuff.
So this is an addition to what you had already contracted.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's all covered.
yeah.
And this is the additional because of the leak.
Well, because of when you start taking sheetrock off, you
No,
see the
I get that.
Yeah.
That was caused because it was the leak in the windows were.
put in poorly, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, because even the J molding around the windows on a metal building, we had that molding that. I mean, you're supposed to run it long at the top, short in the sides, and then long at the bottom. And it didn't look, what?
And fasten it.
Yeah, in fact,
Yeah.
and yeah, something to hold it from
Button
moving
it down.
about, you know, the wind blowing it around and stuff.
Well, I'd move we allocate $7,500 out of capital outlay to assist in this remodel project for the search and rescue building.
I'll say that.
Yes. So I would cover the existing hours.
And I would like to, he bought a roll of Tyvek and he could only get 150 footer, so we have extra Tyvek. Which, you know, I'll buy that from him and we could use, or maybe he'll do it, but we'll work it out on the extra Tyvek that he bought. But I wanted to put it on with that extra money that you're talking about. I think we could do the office too on that south wall, but just all you do is loosen it, keep the
Right.
same windows. And just
Slide
put the moisture barrier in there to keep future molds from occurring. So that's something that I think we could do with that. I don't know. I think what we'll do is talk to the board and we'll make a consensus, you know, and we'll agree on that.
And I don't know how that transfer will happen. Maybe Braden will just cut a check to search and rescue for 7,500 if the motion passes. I don't know what the plan is there.
Yeah, whether it's that or if it's
Or we pay the
on the
invoice.
receipt of invoices.
Beyond the receipt from.
But however you guys want to work it, and
Well, it
sure
may
that
be
we'll get
easier-
the, you
It
know,
may be easier to submit an invoice to Lisa. And then I can send her a notice that this is to come out of capital outlay for this meeting.
It's the way it
Would
is.
make sense.
That's the right way.
okay. That's fine with me,
Go to the county, take it into her.
right, to the clerk.
No,
No, it's a
or
finance
you
office.
can give it to me and I'll get it over to her.
You know where the office is for, you know, the old jail part of this building, the rock.
No, I didn't.
Right.
In here.
Hey, just-
I've
Give
been
it
in
to
the building, I've been in the building department, the clerk, and this.
Give it, no, give it,
Just
give it
to me
to,
and I'll
give it
take
to
care
her,
of it.
cause you know where she is.
This room, I guess.
This room.
This is your
Give it to
office.
me.
All right,
Yes.
that's fine. I will do that. Then I will provide you an invoice directly from the contractor.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, I'll get us into discussion now. I have a motion on the floor to authorize
Yes.
up to $7,500
Instead not to exceed 75.
I'll second it,
for the
whenever you get it straightened out.
repair, remediate, or I guess mold remediation.
Dry rot.
At the SAR building. So further discussion.
Yeah, supposedly the mold's been dealt with, so it really would be to repair. the
Well, I mean,
dry rot.
it's like this morning I was
Cause of the.
pulling baseboard off and, you know, the contractor was supposed to cut it out, but he hasn't gotten to it yet. So we were discussing the size of the sheet. So there's still some in there. What they address is just a general, like the walls and, you know, but they can't get behind things, you know.
Tear it apart.
Right, you have to take it apart to do that, so. But, whatever, but the air quality in there is very nice. So.
Just if I may not, well, I'll wait. I was gonna ask about some of the work that they're doing in there, but,
I mean, we'll deal with this first, I guess. Anything else?
No,
from you on
I'm
this
good.
motion?
well, actually, this is to help for the remediation of the whole project, correct?
That was my
Yeah,
assumption.
so
for your
my
motion.
question would be valid then. When you opened up the ceiling in the meeting room, what was the?
Well, where
consensus?
the most damage was, you know, where the tape swallowed, because the roof was leaking, so we fixed that. And, or it wasn't leaking, they didn't put ventilation, so.
Condensation.
Right, yeah. So, and then it was also leaking a little too, so it's like a combination of multiple factors again, and. So we cut it out and the mold did not spread, we have it eliminated,
Good.
so.
Or you just re-sheet rock that?
Just the areas that have been cut out. So we just basically took the sheetrock out where the most, because you're gonna see water damage from, so We just got eliminated.
Board feels confident or feel good about the whole thing.
Oh, I'm being very, he was very, he's a little upset at me because I'm,
You got in the
I'm
way. did you?
micromanaging. He says I'm micromanaging, but it's
You got
like,
in the way.
he said on many occasions, or at least 3 that, he is not a mold expert. So, but I
You're talking
have,
about your
I
regular-
am for sure.
Your regular subcontractor.
Yeah,
Not the
well, he's a
company.
contractor.
Yeah, not not the company.
No, we don't have a
I'm talking about-
subcontractor.
Okay.
We only have a general contractor and I am the,
Manager.
I guess.
You mold it.
I am not sure what I am. But we've worked it out and
Good.
we're fine. We're moving ahead and everything's good.
Okay. Any discussion from the room?
None here.
Doesn't look like any public comments.
See any online? Okay, those in favor of authorizing up to $7,500 for the work at the Star Building, please signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye. What's your title with search and rescue?
Ground pounder.
Okay,
Yeah,
you volunteered to take on this project.
yeah, Paul, who was doing it, passed away, so. I am taking it over, I guess, right in the middle, so.
Well, thank you.
Not in
for
the
doing
middle,
that.
basically at the start of it,
Yeah.
but still, there's a lot of work just to get to the point where, the monies are available from the.
Yeah, good. And that was a DOLA grant, do you know?
All I know was like 20 grand that we got, so.
All right, sir, do you want this back?
No, that's,
Okay.
yeah, actually, if you guys don't need it, I would like to have it, because I don't have a printed copy, I might have it back up.
In case he comes back at 10 grand or something.
Well, it is an estimate and. We are opening up sheetrock right this morning, so, but I feel it's very confident that it's not gonna be a problem. We're just eliminating the moldy sheetrock.
Yeah.
So
All right, sir.
I
Well,
think
thank
we're
you.
good. All right, well, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming in again today.
Yeah. All right, I figure you should be first this time.
Sure.
Running around.
Email me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
We'll give us a short recess at this point.
how short?
We're gonna be back by 5 after. I'll give you 7 minutes.
Oh,
All right, I will reconvene this meeting of the Board of Commissioners at 10:05. Next item of business we have on our agenda is the consideration of Dublin Lane Road vacation. So I guess you would be back up.
I guess. Scotland has prepared a resolution. Guess
We'll get
we'll-
shaped this way.
We're just.
nice to see you again.
See you, it's been forever, hasn't it? So Clint's prepared the resolution for us to vacate Dublin Lane from, here's a good map, which I should have made it bigger. Basically, this gentleman owns all the lots. We vacated the lot lines the last meeting. He owns all of the lots through this portion of Dublin Lane. So Clint was nice enough to prepare the resolution for us today to vacate that road for this gentleman. There's no other property that borders this part of Dublin Lane. I'll pass it around so you guys can see it if you'd like.
And the heat tractor coming off the end of that is being used by this gentleman, and that's not an access to other property.
It's not, no, we checked that, it is mainly a four-wheeler.
I got that.
Driving on a four-wheeler, tracks from that.
Oops.
And he doesn't use this as his main entrance to his house.
That is the main entrance to his house, yes.
Oh, it is, not this over here.
Correct,
He'll
Dublin
continue to
Lane.
use that as a road. He could gate it
It's
or
his
whatever.
driveway.
correct.
Did the attorney donate his time to do all that work?
I don't
Learn
know.
to work that way. The bill's on its way, big time.
Make the checks in the mail for that.
There we go.
Actually, the address for the residence that he lives in is a different street there. I mean, that's the address.
Hmm.
But
But you anticipate him using that as his name,
That is his main entrance to his home. Well,
and just so I'm
isn't that on your
clear,
paperwork, isn't there, the address of the home itself, a different address? I didn't print everything.
Mhm.
he has, so I don't know what he actually uses as his main address there.
Well, I was just on the assessment website. The home that he's in, it was a. I don't remember what the name of the street was, it doesn't show up on this map,
and
but JD's okay with everything.
Yes.
Okay, he's the one we have to please.
Yes. He looked it over. I
And do
spoke-
you see any issues moving forward if we were to vacate that road?
No, it's then pursuant to the statute that I cited, and the law says that ownership, once a road is vacated, ownership goes to the adjacent property owners. And since it's been
He is.
owned on both sides, they get it all.
so by that CRS 432302, we're really deeding him that land.
And not actually deeding it. Once you vacate the road, the county gives up all interest in it. It was dedicated.
Automatically
to
goes the other deed.
County, so that we don't actually do a deed, just by operation of law, it goes to the adjacent property owners.
His actual address is 244 Elk Lane, so I'm
Okay.
assuming that's this road and
Yeah,
towards the backside.
So we're vesting him.
the vests in him, for the two of them. Since they're the joint owners, Mr. and Mrs. Smith going that. The lots on both sides, it automatically goes to them.
You know if that was a county-owned road or if that was prescriptive use?
It was
It was-
county.
Well, it was dedicated to the county for use. I don't know if the county actually owned it. But the county can vacate any interest in it, in which case ownership goes. I mean, that's actually a good question. When that was all subdivided years ago. I don't know if the roads were actually deeded to the county, but when a county vacates a road, I mean, that's what the statute says that
What subdivision's that in?
Sierra Vista number 3.
That,
Probably the reason for
Lake
my
Dewey's,
question is
yeah.
because if it was prescriptive use, he's already paying the taxes on that road, but if the county owned the road and then it goes back to him, then that portion of the road that goes back to him then is, he would be taxed on.
I don't think it's considered, it's not a prescriptive easement pursuant to the subdivision, but whether, the roads are dedicated.
it would have been a right of way, it's all of the problem on the deed.
But again, it's not prescriptive, and JD will figure out, how that affects his property taxes.
Okay. Anything else? I would move that we adopt Custer County Resolution number 22-23, which is a resolution of Custer County, a political subdivision of the state of Colorado, vacating a portion of Dublin Lane in Sierra City number 3.
Here, City.
Sierra City, I'm sorry, it is Sierra City, right? My mistake.
Never even heard that.
I'll second it.
Number 3, there's 2 more that came before that.
Further discussion.
Kelly's gonna get a copy.
I'll get the original.
And she doesn't sell it for.
I don't want to copy.
Once more.
It does require all 3 signatures. Any other discussion from anyone in the room, online? Not seeing anything there. Okay, seeing none. Those in favor of adopting Custer County Resolution number 22-23, vacating a portion of Dublin Lane in Sierra City number 3, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Started off over there and all.
Property fenced.
Say that again.
Is it fenced, this property?
I don't believe so. No. I have not driven by there, but I do not believe that his property is fenced based on the pictures.
Property is doubling in size.
There you go.
We're paying for.
You get what you pay for. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we got a big old misspelling right here. On my name.
Uh-oh.
We'd correct that.
I think I probably did.
I will fix it right now.
I didn't even look at that.
Tommy, you're not an IE,
I don't think so.
and is it just Y?
Yes,
Why not?
Okay, so while waiting on that,
this attorney's about to give it to me this morning. He is in rare form.
I'm sorry, I'm the one that misspelled your name. I was falling asleep last night trying to get this thing.
so we also have our next agenda item while we're waiting on that to come is consideration of increase of planning and zoning fees.
And I have attempted to make you a very nice copy so that you can read it, and it's big. I struggled, I'll be honest, I struggled with Google Sheets last night. And
You
sent
won't
it,
hear any complaints from us about that. You'll see, gentlemen,
I do have
everything we
to,
do is gonna struggle with Google.
I do have to say that.
Yeah.
That Jordan helped me this morning the best that he could with what he had to work with, so. He educated me on what I could have done different to make it easier on myself, so. They're a great resource.
No complaints to me on large print. How's that?
Okay. I guess in my research and when I took the position, I started looking at every little thing and kind of what I've discovered is that the majority of our rates, although we say we increased them in 2019, really a lot of them did not increase. So that is why I am
That's
looking
true.
at making an
Jesus.
increase with the rate of inflation. I believe that it's important that we stay along those lines. So considering that really the majority of our rates have not increased since 2015, that's why on this sheet, you're going to see where it says 2015 and 2021. Really, the only differences between the 2015 and the 2021 rate sheet is a lot of the SUPs and SUP modification. I didn't highlight that on here because I kind of ran out of room, but I have the two sheets that you can take a look at that show that really our rates have not increased since 2015, the majority of them, the ones that bring in the most revenue. So in other words, the residents.
Yeah, you got it. You're right.
Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking out of the box when it comes to what I'm recommending. What I'm recommending is that we have a rate sheet for individuals who have been in our county and lived here for years. So anybody who's been here 2+ years would have one rate. And anyone who is new to our county coming in from outside less than 2 years would have a different rate. And my reasoning for that is because I really believe that our county, a lot of people can't afford to live here. Our people that have been here their whole life, with the rate of inflation, it's just making it a lot more difficult for our residents to have a substantial life here and grow their families in our county. And I think that's important that we consider that.
How do you enforce them?
Well, I have done a little bit of research. I checked with the assessor's office because my biggest challenge is going to be trying to determine whether they've been here 2+ years.
Right.
I'd say 80% of the people coming in our office, we're going to know whether they're a long-term resident.
You gonna check driver's license again?
Well,
How you gonna know?
I checked that. I checked with JD's office. They can tell, but it's a little bit of research for them. I talked to Peggy. Peggy said that people can go on if they're a registered voter and tell when they actually registered. So they can do it themselves. I can give them a little sheet of paper that will give them instructions on how to go prove that they've been a registered voter in Custer County for 2+ years. It shows the date that you are actually registered on there. I realize not everyone is a registered voter. In those circumstances, my department would take it upon ourselves to get with JD's department and do a little bit of investigating. If that particular customer or resident is saying that they've been here more than 2 years and it's in question.
What about people that are not, that are visitors or part-time residents, they're gonna come anyway, what rate are they gonna pay?
I think that's I need to look at that. I never thought of that.
So somebody that's on the land here and they're trying to build on it, they've owned it for 10 years, but they haven't been a physical resident of the county, but they are.
Or even campers, people
Yeah.
coming and dropping stuff that are visiting for 2
Not
weeks.
campers like you.
Not Kelly. campers.
In my opinion, I think they need to be a
Kelly has a
resident of
different
our
rate.
county for 2 years, a full-time resident. But we could definitely consider the part-time residents as well. I think it would be an individual basis that we would need to consider that, but I really think it's those who are going to make this their permanent home that should benefit from the lower rate.
So does it change?
It does. So
So if they've been here, they're a new resident and 3 years later, they get a different rate?
yeah,
How
if
you
they
gonna
can
know
prove that they've been a registered voter for 2 years and been here in Custer County.
Oh.
So let's say I'm here, I build my home, and then later on I decide to build a huge barn 3 years down the road. If I'd been a registered voter here for those 3 years or 2 years, I could qualify for the lower rate, because I would be a permanent resident of Custer County. I just think it's important that we try to keep the people that are long-term residents in our county, give them the opportunity to be able to afford to live in our county, and it's getting harder and harder for them. And this is one little way. Really, it's not. I mean, if you're building a brand new home, a $2,000 permit is probably not going to make or break the fact that you're going to build a home. So it is a substantial increase for a new resident. So what I'm proposing for, if I'm a current resident, been here 2+ years, it's 75 cents a square foot, compared what our current rate is 60 cents. And that it's been the same since 2015. A new resident less than 2 years would pay 90 cents a square foot. And that second amount is post-construction. So if they started building and did not come in and get their permit, then they would have to pay the post-construction. One of the things, and Vince was here and I didn't get a chance to grab him, I noticed that we have never, that I can see, increased our county road and bridge driveway access permit. And I talked a little bit with Sherry about that yesterday, and she thought that they definitely could use an increase in that area. But I would not, I would want to do a little bit of research and talk to Vince prior to making that recommendation.
And that's his. isn't it?
That's your road and
That's
bridge.
Road and Bridge
Correct.
does that separately. That wouldn't be under you.
It's listed on our sheet though. And I understand we don't collect that amount, we send them there. But it is listed on our price sheet.
And that change isn't reflected here. It's the same right now.
Correct. I didn't make any change to that amount because I would want to check with him.
When they get a permit, I mean, did they bring something into you for part of your file for the driveway permit? So that you know that they did get the permit from Road and Bridge?
I believe so.
Okay, well, it probably should be something you gotta keep in your file.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
for some reason, Road and Bridge never charged me when I built my house, so send me a bill.
I would imagine that, yeah, I came with the position.
Oh, yeah, I became county attorney just so I could avoid paying that huge number.
That's $75, yeah. I will check with Vince on that. You're correct, and I should make sure that they do bring something in with documentation showing that they do have that. We asked them that, but I don't know that we've made them bring in that documentation.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
no, I defer.
Speaking to that, I know Road and Bridge keeps those records on file at the Road and Bridge Department, so. Just on that note, you could have them bring a copy of that in to your office.
That would be a good idea. I've never seen one in a file.
Once they do a final inspection on it, then they close it out
Mhm.
as well. Oh,
Thank you, sir. All things being equal here, when would you want to impose these new rates?
Good question. That's one of the reasons why I'm proposing this now, and I kind of rushed to get this to you. I would like to do it when we implement iWork, and we're looking at implementing that right around the first of the year, into December 1st of the year. So if I can make it so that it's right on the first of the year, that would probably be the perfect situation.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I had been toying with the idea of introducing a motion to table this until a later date. I think we need to do some. Personally, I need to give this some thought. I wouldn't be comfortable on voting on it today. So I wonder if we could maybe move this to late November, no later than mid-December to consider it again, or does that work for you or not?
Possibly, my concern with that is I need to send my permits to iWork with all of this data. I didn't want to have to go back and tell them, oh, okay, now I need to change all the rates on everything and have an additional charge. I kind of spoke to my contact there yesterday, and her recommendation was that if possible, we have as much of it up front. So
What
when
would
they
be the
start,
cost if it didn't? Is it significant? Is it
I did not-
$1,000 or is it 20?
I did not ask that. I'll find out. It's a programming cost.
I got some comments after Tom's done.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Good, sir.
Yeah, I have the same problem. We can't vote on this day. I'm a little concerned. I like, most of the changes look reasonable.
Mhm.
Except I'm having a hard time with the new resident thing.
Okay.
And I want to think more about it. I'm familiar with a lot of other states because I've moved around a lot in the military and I've seen dumps handled and landfills handled a lot differently. And simple is better. And usually it's usually a resident. They usually hammer on people out of state. Or, it's easy to do. It's just awful hard to enforce other things that are. And then I don't want to be hammered as a county that's going to be discriminating against new people coming in, because you want new people to come in. I see what you're trying to do is help people that are here,
Mhm.
but the way you help people that are here too is being, what you've done is a good job of not overblowing the rates. A lot of counties would charge whatever. We're lucky we have our own landfill. And in some cases, they, right, even in this state, they're making you go to a different, very expensive cost of moving the garbage out of a county into some other place to essentially do it. And we're lucky we've got our landfill. So something that I want to think about more too.
Yeah, I tried to go and give you more examples of what our price is compared to this county or that county or this municipality. It was very difficult to do that because the majority of everyone around us is going off of evaluation.
Right,
So
it is different, and that's why it doesn't really matter. It matters what we have here and how we handle our own, whether we can afford it or not, do the right thing.
that was the conclusion that I came to.
Okay.
Yeah, we're very different because of our land use.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Okay.
I'm willing to
That's
wait.
something that I was questioning as well, would be I would like to go through and, look at all the numbers, but I kind of question myself,
Okay.
the uptick on the.
Applaud your
residents,
efforts, though. I'm sorry, I didn't say that, sir.
Thank you.
Because that does kind of muddy the water, especially like if you've got somebody that's been trying to move here for 10 years, we've got the land bought, now we can finally afford to start building. But now it's going to cost us more, even though we've been trying to do it for 10 years. And
Okay.
to me, that's a detriment to them. And I think if they've been working towards that goal, should we penalize them or not? So that's kind of where I shake out at this present time, but I think we need to look at it a little more and see. When do you need your stuff into iWorks? Would say the mid-month meeting be soon enough.
I would say within the next 2 weeks. And
But it depends on the cost. I don't care about the cost of that,
Okay.
what it takes to them, unless it's $10,000. I mean, but we gotta do the right thing.
Mr. Chairman, may I
Yes, you may.
interject a comment? I had a chance to talk to Dorothy a little this morning before a meeting. I guess this is where I'm at. If you wanted or needed a decision, I'd be comfortable in voting on the 2023 proposed rates without the new resident today. The new resident thing is a reach for me, for the reasons articulated already. I don't need to repeat those. again, I understand where you're coming from. I'm not taking issue with that necessarily, but I just think that it's a leap for me.
And actually, that's a very good way to approach it, because I think we could do that, and you can get the rates if we say no later. It's not hard, or it's not hard to. You've already got the rates, you
Mhm.
tend into them. We don't have to have another meeting.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm okay with that. I looking at it and we had not done anything really since 2015 in the overall rates that really impact us. I'm completely fine with not doing the new residents.
It's like we
the
did have a
difference.
small increase.
Just in two items,
Right,
2 years ago.
2 years.
Yeah, it was very minimal. It wasn't on the actual square footage anywhere or anything like that. The
Right.
areas that bring in the substantial income.
So I would move that we adopt her proposed rate increases as presented for 2023, excluding the new residents consideration.
Yeah, I'll second that, so we can discuss it.
And if we still want to postpone it, we can. I'm just throwing this out to move this forward.
All right, so I do have a motion on the floor to adopt the 2023 rate increase for planning and zoning fees, excluding the new resident column. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yes.
Okay, discussion.
Well, I think, generally speaking, the impacted areas that are going to affect most people would be the excuse me, the zoning permit cost on residential and then the septic. That's to me the two major changes that would affect most people. There's other increases. I'm not saying there isn't, but those are kind of the two that jump off the page at me, and I'm fine with that.
Can I add something?
Yes.
One of the things that I noticed in reading, doing a little research and reading through what other counties are doing, a lot of counties are doing a renewal for an SUP. And I would like to suggest, I do not have it on there. I would like to suggest that we add that. And my reasoning behind that is we have one SUP that I cannot prove that the SUP goes with the owner. And it was before my time and it's very muddy, and I've been trying to quantify or I guess clarify that that's the case. It is nowhere in the documentation that I can find. However, it's kind of an unwritten
That
law.
would be out east.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I also have another one that's looking at selling their place, and it's obviously if I have an SUP and I'm running a very large business, it's going to make a difference in the value of my property that I'm trying to sell, whether that SUP will go with the land or the person. So I would like to have the opportunity to sit down with those who have an SUP and set some portion in or some time frame within a year to say, this is what your SUP is. This is what we're still looking at. I think a lot of people are out there expanding without updating or renewing, looking at making changes to their SUP.
Well, it's a good point. I think when an SUP is granted, I've always thought, and I thought it's in there, that it goes with the land.
It goes with the person.
Yeah, unless they've expanded and done some other things that would have required it to be different. I don't know. I guess we ought to better check on what it really does, make sure we understand that.
In our zoning resolution, I believe it states that it goes with the person.
Yeah.
And we do have a renewal fee
Right,
currently.
We
Yes, I
don't.
believe we do.
yeah.
$200.
I don't see that we have a renewal for the SUP. Here's the last, most two two most current rate schedules. We have a renewal for our STR.
Yeah, maybe it's the STR. Once you have an SUP, there's no reason to,
STR.
Here's the
$200
STR,
renewal
but
fee.
there's nothing for the NSUP.
Oh, I thought you were talking about STR.
I don't think there is, because
Oh.
you should, there, once you've got an,
Yeah,
use, you
yeah,
built, you
SUP
can't renew it, it's there.
Right.
You don't renew an SUP. for
It's
a
in
different use.
perpetuity
Yeah.
unless it goes through a hearing and is revoked.
Right. If,
So they never have to renew
no, because
that.
why would they?
No.
You've got a special use already authorized for that land, whether it's. Whatever, it makes sense. You can't be renewing it, because what would happen? If you didn't, you'd have to tear down the business or tear down the thing. You'd see it, as long as that landowner's there. And he's gonna continue operating it in that way,
Why is that
Right.
different for an STR then?
because STRs, it can be, the business can go. You know, it can be either because it's not adhering to the law, the regulations that we've got, and people decide, okay, we're gonna revoke it.
Okay.
And you, or they give up, they decide to move in, and then now it's not an SUP any longer.
I just don't know that,
Needed, I should say.
I've read about it, but I've also seen that a lot of counties are making an annual renewal for their SUPs
But
and,
you know, you got a subdivision that's a special use permit right now, lots of them. You would never pull the permit, then what are you gonna do? You've got all the residents there, are you gonna tell them to get out? You take up their septic system? No, you can't. You don't need to renew it. If you don't renew it, so what?
okay, but what about if I'm running a large, I don't know, lodge and have a
In the
very large,
business, it just loses its business license, but if the lodge is there, you can't take it down. You wouldn't.
right? But then I've expanded 10 times over and never modified my SUP.
That's a different issue.
Yeah, the modification would be, in my opinion, a different issue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They get
Let's,
them on that, you go charge them.
let's pick on Alpine.
Yeah, Alpine's good. Or Pine.
So he's got a special use permit to run that business.
Mhm.
If he decided he wanted to add 10 more cabins, then to me, he would have to come in
Right.
and get an application to modify that SUP.
That's right.
I don't think we can compare SUPs across the board with short-term rental
Right.
permits. And we call them short-term rental permits specifically instead of a short-term rental SUP.
Yeah, and in fact,
Okay,
remember it, by law or by statute, it states it's a residential use. A business use of a residential property, still a residential property.
Mhm.
It's not changing there.
Okay. I'm still learning.
Yeah, and we're zoned residential, so I just
That's why
think
the
they're two
permit.
different animals.
It's two different, yeah.
That's,
Well,
That
are you
works.
looking at the? I mean, the annual, if it's just a way of raising money that they have to renew their SUP permit. I mean, that's one thing, you know, but if they have to come in and actually fill out all the paperwork and everything and show what they're doing and that it hasn't changed or whatever, I guess I'm not quite sure if it's a money raising thing or if it's an actual regulation thing to be sure that they're not exceeding their original SUP permit.
in my opinion, it's more of a sit down, go through what your SUP is, and do you need a modification? Not necessarily a revenue generating thing. It's more so to make sure that we're not going outside of what the current SUP is set
How
for.
many SUPs are
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
78.
there?
Okay,
And some of them are going way back,
Oh.
like,
Out or
Yeah, yes.
Pines Ranch back in the 50s or 60s. They
Yeah.
were,
50s.
Okay.
Pines Ranch was
Yeah.
before then.
well, were those like grandfathered in then at the time the zoning resolution came into effect?
they're
A
on.
lot of them that are, like Hankwood is, Macy. A whole bunch of them that are shoot, they're 100-foot lots.
Well, subdivisions are different.
Still a lot of special use.
Yeah, subdivision is different. than
Different,
this.
they're
Yeah.
treated differently than an SUP,
Yeah.
but I've seen the list of the
EVs, I guess I'm
SUPs.
looking at.
Whether they were grandfathered or not, I can't speak to, but they're
Depends on-
on the list of having a special use permit
Oh,
issued
wow.
to them. Yeah.
That probably would have to been prior to 74 or whatever it was.
So,
Grandfather.
I'm looking at the language here of the special use modification and that kind of stuff, and I just don't think it applies.
Fair enough.
Modification, a whole nother ballgame. I'd support that any day. If you determine or they come in and request a modification, then the zoning resolution says they go through the entire SUP process again.
It's like your home, in your residential home,
So
increase the square footage.
Yeah.
Permit.
I think short-term rentals are different.
It is.
Yeah, and we spoke to that during that
Right.
process.
Okay, so where are we on our actual motion?
And you're good with short-term rental renewal being $200? Or did you up that?
I thought I upped it, but let me look.
I did,
She did.
7 and 4.
I upped it because when you stop and you think about the income that they're bringing in on a short-term rental, I think they should have a little bit more skin in the game.
Well, and certainly administratively, one STR application could necessitate calling a commission meeting, planning commission meeting, doing the site visit, if that's what they decide to do. We'll have to see how that.
It was a $200.
It's 5 and 2, yeah.
Any other discussion on this?
Well, I think you're in line, Dorothy, with the inflation and, I mean, costs are more, period. But these are reasonable, they're not outlandish.
I tried very hard to stay within reason.
Effective when, because that could be an important part of this conversation, particularly with STRs and septic.
I heard discussion, but it was not part of the motion to take effect J1, January 1, is that correct?
That would work.
I would agree. So I was thinking parliamentary, I would approach that, just a friendly amendment to add that to my original motion effective January 1, 2023.
Would you also second that amendment?
Yeah, I'll second it. What, I have so looking, because it's hard on your paper here.
The big paper.
You have a copy of this?
No, I didn't get it.
Where's the renewal on the STR?
So
Under special use permits.
I'm
Third
looking
one
at,
down.
I see third one down, I just see 700 for the 3, I see where it was 500.
And it's-
renewal, what?
it's 400,
Is it 400 for
Mhm.
renewal
correct?
compared to 200? So you
Yes.
Raise it 200 each.
Yes. It kind of runs together with the other one, the middle one, what it used to be. Sorry about
Yeah, I'm
that.
looking at, it's
Yeah.
easier to look at that because the increase is not as much.
Yeah.
That makes it better.
I guess while we're still in discussion, I would speak back to the county road and bridge. That number is on here, but they actually deal with that separately. So if they were going to adjust their fees, that would not be affected by today's action, correct?
Yeah, if they get it in time, they can change it when we publish, but they'd have to republish it if they decide to change it.
But the numbers are,
How much is that? It's only $100.
It's 75.
75. And they haven't decided. what
Yeah,
they-
and again, we're in that black or gray area. It should say. Really on this document that fee, if in fact it is set by Road and Bridge, that should be, it should say that.
You ought to just take it out of here and just. Period.
And send
just
them over there. Yeah, okay, I
Let
can,
them up it when.
Yeah.
they-
because you don't collect it or anything.
I don't.
So that, I just, that's right.
Yeah.
We just send
I
them,
see the value of it as. Posting information, but maybe
It,
if you don't collect it, we don't make.
and
that
they even
decision.
police it. They do their own.
well, and if there's a form that they fill out when they get over there, maybe they can provide me with some of those forms like I do with the address marker and
They
say,
do,
Here.
they do
Sure,
that.
Then
give you-
that might be the way we handle that.
What do you think, Clint?
Yeah, I,
Road and Bridge, we don't set that necessarily. They do as a department.
And they handle it. They administer it.
yeah, I probably shouldn't be on here though. Thanks for
Road
dealing
and
with
Bridge.
zoning permits.
I'll second that amendment.
This amendment or motion just keeps getting longer and longer.
So we just need to restate the motion as it really is.
I will here in a minute. Further discussion here.
I think it does beg the question, though, does Road and Bridge have the authority to set their own fees?
And I went through that with them before and it was yes.
Well, I'm sure they say yes.
No, but
I
they,
don't know.
somebody cited a. They
No,
did, they
It
had,
really is a land use matter and it probably should be through. Planning and zoning, I think just as a matter of
It had to-
custom, it's been set by Road and Bridge for many years.
but I think it had to do with the exits into subdivisions where it really got. That's why they got serious about it, because there had to be two of them to get in from a fire point of view. And,
Well, and we have a separate line for the subdivision road access.
yeah,
Right,
that's right.
So
yeah.
I think this is, the road and bridge is mainly because the road and bridge has to go out. Inspect it, tell them whether or not they need a pipe.
Yeah,
Uh,
their
yeah,
regulations.
give them the regulations of what they need to put in
That's right.
and go back and inspect afterwards to make sure that the job is done correctly and the drainage is working.
Yeah,
So the road and bridge is the one incurring those costs.
and it costs more if they don't do it right, and that's why it's part of their job.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Road and Bridge doing it. I just. It's another one of those gray areas that I doubt there's anything written down. I know when I put in my. Driveway and culvert, I went to Road and Bridge. From direction of planning and zoning, they said, we don't deal with that. You gotta talk to Road and Bridge.
That's right.
That's what I did.
Same here.
Can you leave it on there and just say, see Road and Bridge?
Yeah,
Cause
So
then
that
at
it's
least
public
it's
information.
public information and you set the fee, but they have to go see them.
But you see, but even then, I know it's just not logically a land use issue. It's a. Sort of like a utility use. It's something different. It's not using the land differently.
Yeah, and you're not seeing a lot of their other fees, the cut permits. for the
No,
road,
No,
things of that nature here either.
I can agree that it's probably a function of Road and Bridge, but to Kelly's point, I think just posting it to have the information to say. Fees and administration. By Road and Bridge, not by planning and zoning.
That would include anything that you would need a road and bridge guy to do, like an entryway into your new lot or something that's been just platted for special use. That would be. So it's a whole bunch of things, not just culverts. It's not about
Right.
culverts. I wouldn't post it with culverts.
It's an access permit.
Yeah,
Right,
Right-of-way access.
whether it's a culvert or not.
that's right. It's anything that would require land and bridge to do something. Cut a ditch, whatever.
To me, I would just parenthetically put a statement in there. That the fees and permits are issued by Road and Bridge. That's my thought.
That would be,
Um, Then I had a question for Dorothy earlier. I don't ever remember seeing vested rights. I didn't even know what a vested right was in this respect. So I did a little research. It's basically a right tied to a property. I don't know
You're vested in the agricultural
How
use of
that
it, that's
would-
vested, I guess.
impact planning and zoning and why we would get into a situation, but apparently we have in the past, it wouldn't be on that.
Where does it say that?
Next to the last one under zoning issue.
Oh. Vested rights, and we charge for vested rights, what does that mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen it before. I don't even think we have a application.
Definition of right belonging completely and unconditionally to a person as a property interest which cannot be impaired or taken away without the consent of the owner. So
Maybe
unless
that-
somebody came in and filed a complaint about something, I don't know,
Well,
didn't make a
the,
lot of sense to
the
me.
way that I understood vested rights was if it was already set up as a, you know, this area was considered zoned commercial. And then something changed, which then made it, you know, you were gonna do multifamily, for example, but then it changed to where multifamily wasn't allowed. It's still zoned commercial. But you had already gone through the process, but then zoning changed in that specific area. And now you want, you know, that would be a vested right. That's what I understood vested rights.
Which we don't have commercial or
I,
anything.
well, I mean, it
Yeah,
just-
that's-
I'm using that as an example,
Yeah.
but that's,
Must be on there for a reason.
We'll find out
So we've
someday.
always done it that way.
We'll find out someday, right?
You take it off, I'll guarantee you next month.
Vested rights are real, and so if somebody had something they were gonna do that would infringe on your invested right, then there'd have to be some action taken. To rezone it or redo something with whatever the use of that land was, so. And probably, I've never heard of it happening and. I don't even know anybody that has, so maybe, I don't,
Doesn't cost us anything to leave it on there, but
There we go.
It shortened my thing up a little bit.
all right,
So, okay, so any further discussion? Anything from the room, or online? I'm not seeing anything online. So, do I can restate this motion?
good luck.
Those in favor of approving, thank you. Those in favor of approving the rate adjustments for planning and zoning, excluding the new resident column, and making the notation for road and bridge driveway access permits, signified by saying aye.
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 then my question would be. What's our responsibility to get the word out? Just post it in planning and zoning? We need a press
Could
release.
have a press release that says, did you know there's been some action? I mean, just a news,
Starting,
Press
yeah, so
starting
a
in-
little blurb
Give them
stating,
heads
yeah.
up.
yeah,
As of
I don't think-
January 1, the new.
and you get a rush on the
January 1,
landfill for the
new
next
rate
2
will
months.
take effect.
Save 20 bucks.
Copies of the
Right.
rates are available in the planning and zoning office and on our website.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And a question. Mr. Kennedy, you mentioned landfill several times. This has nothing to do with landfill, correct?
Correct.
No, I'm sorry, I keep
Those
saying
fees
that.
are separate.
Those fees, we did that before,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I keep bringing that up.
Yeah, I think it would just be the right thing to do to inform the public that we're gonna start in
Get a
January.
rush on SUPs. Yeah, I didn't mean to mention landfill.
And then may I serve a comment for the good of the order since Dorothy is here?
Sure.
Thank you. I haven't done the research, but we probably should because we were under a 5-year moratorium on PDDs and subdivisions. We voted on that while Bill and I were commissioners. I don't remember when that is set to expire.
It was 2019.
Was it in 2024?
That was my understanding.
We haven't had anybody requesting to do one either.
I had a couple that was in, but they were wanting to make the lots, they were buying a 10-acre lot and wanted to subdivide it, make a subdivision into acre lots. And I just let them know that we currently had a moratorium on that and that, really didn't fit our land use.
Even if we didn't have a moratorium
Yeah,
to try
would
it.
be very
we
difficult.
couldn't do it.
Yeah, it would depend on what zone they're in, obviously, but
Yeah, it wasn't a,
Even to go smaller than acre lots. or
I want to
two.
say it was zone 1, so it was really out there. It was, and I can't remember, there was a subdivision right next to it that was a smaller, unusually subdivided
100-foot
area.
lots.
Yeah, and they were buying land that was next to that. I don't know where they're at on it. They have not come back in.
so we're still under that more.
Yes.
Through 24.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate
putting
it.
that together too.
yeah, appreciate
Made it
the
a lot-
effort.
That made it a lot easier to
Thank
look at.
Yeah,
That's not bad having bigger packages.
yeah, it was a little messy, but at least it was easier to read. Yeah.
Next, planning commission meeting, is there anything scheduled right now?
It's the 7th.
Is that-
Is that a VSO officer? I've seen you
I
for
just happened to
ever.
look at my phone there. Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, perfect timing, sir. How are you? Doing well.
Yeah, my phone buzzed and I saw your text. I thought, oh, yeah, I better answer that because.
Okay,
How you doing?
Good, doing all right, I'm hanging in there.
And we're jumping back from new business back to staff reports. So
There you go. Keep you on your toes. man.
that's it. Gotta be flexible, right?
That's not me. There's that thing. Monthly report.
How's things?
Good. Things have been pretty busy. I think this time of year, obviously, with winter rolling in, it's a busier time for the office for sure. And you noticed a fairly significant increase in the number of people coming in, not only with the cold weather, but also with the PACT Act. I don't know how familiar you are with what Congress passed, and it just included a bunch of presumptive conditions for service related, mostly illnesses, a lot of burn pit stuff from Iraq and Afghanistan, and a few new presumptives for duty in Vietnam. So we've had quite a few people coming over filing for new presumptive conditions. So I have quite a stack of claims on my desk that are being filed, and a lot of new vets that have never filed for anything that I didn't even know were in the county that I'd never even had contact with, have been coming in as a result of the PACT Act. So it's all that.
May I ask? Because I've been seeing a lot about the burn pits. What all did they burn in these pits?
Everything.
Everything.
You can think of it, we burned it.
We're on military.
Yeah,
bases,
military.
complexes.
Yeah. So pretty much anybody that was in country. If you have certain conditions, that's listed in those presumptives and you were in country, then the VA has kind of conceded that is a result of the burn pits, and therefore you might be entitled to some form of disability compensation. So yeah, that's definitely opened up the floodgates big time. But it's also slowed down claims processes through the VA. So things are taking much longer now as well to file, because you just don't have the people to process it.
So in lieu of what we know in the landfill,
Yeah,
they just dug a hole and
yeah, we just dug pits and set them on fire. Yeah.
East burn dumps.
Mhm.
Around here.
Remember, this used to be on the smoke coming out of between Lake Louise and here all the time.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of burning one myself when I was about 11 years old.
Yeah.
Still got
You might
scars on
regret
my
it in a few
backside.
years. So yeah, there was that. And then a few weeks ago, I met with a regional VSO, the Colorado Department of Veteran Affairs kind of restructured how they manage VSOs across the state. And it used to just kind of be, there was kind of a state VSO. And that was kind of a direct POC that we had. And now they broke it up into regions.
Sure.
Yeah, finally. So we have an individual out of Pueblo and he covers Custer County and then a lot of stuff south and to the east. So pretty much all the rural counties. And I met with him a couple weeks ago to kind of discuss the specific issues down here in Custer County. And I think starting in the new year, every quarter, we're going to start, I think he covers 13 counties. And we're going to start getting together at one designated location within those 13 counties to kind of swap lies and ideas about some of the issues that they deal with in their rural counties and what we deal with, kind of how we can maybe combine forces, so to speak, to help address some of those issues. So if any of you are willing or so inclined, I suggest maybe listening in on one of those or going with me or reaching out to other county commissioners in those counties. Because I know they face a lot of the same issues that we do with, rural veterans and healthcare access and suicide and, mental health issues, et cetera, et cetera. So it might be a good collaborative effort.
We had a discussion with Vince Road and Bridge today about lightening your vehicle inventory list.
Yeah.
So I think they'll both be put out for bid.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Any leads on a vehicle? To add
No,
to that?
You have a nice truck.
Yeah.
So do you.
There's a little book that goes, there's a little book that goes with it, would you like?
Yeah.
I haven't really pushed the envelope on that too hard with dealership down in Canyon. I put a request out there to see if he could find some. I haven't heard back, but
Whenever the timing's right, if possible, it would be a benefit, I think, to the veterans. And obviously to me
and you're using your personal vehicle right now.
for quite a bit of it, yeah. So
Give us some
any
examples.
hauling firewood, I haul water for people, to their house. So I use my own truck for that. If I'm moving people's trailers, et cetera. So yeah, but I use it for firewood, I use it for hay, I use it for water. And I'll concede that all of those things are outside of the scope of my job description, technically. I think that I'm only required to file claims and connect people to resources. I don't think there's anything.
You inherited.
But I inherited those duties and I feel obligated to do so.
And if you're to be a resource,
Yeah.
you and your office to be a resource for veterans. And a guy needs 500 gallons of water, what are you gonna do? Say, no, it's not my job description.
Yeah, I find it hard to turn people away like that.
Here's a list of people that haul water. and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can help find it for them.
I can help find it for them. A lot of the issue that we run into after that is financially based.
Yeah.
Some of my guys and gals
Can't
can
afford
afford that, and we do have some grant money, but to use like state grant money out of like the VTF fund, for example, to haul water,
That's when you just,
Yeah.
we can't make that.
you direct them to human resources.
So,
over here.
and we do, we tried to connect individuals, with human resources and some of the lead benefits and SNAP and things like that, to try to get them some help as well. But some of it's immediate and, it's a bureaucratic process, unfortunately. And that's been something I've been trying to do a lot. People come in, and ask for those resources and like, why can't we find $20 to do this or do that? So trying to connect them with resources that maybe they didn't know existed, whether it's pensions, whether it's disability claims, et cetera, and trying to find some federal resources to help out those guys and gals. But again, it's a bureaucratic process and it takes months to process those claims, so.
I just had a claim. What's the firewood situation this year? Are you looking for firewood again, or you got?
I'm actually doing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, with our veteran trust fund grant, we have quite a bit of money in that, so we've been utilizing, local firewood companies and, Ryan
So
Stover.
you're not really looking for property owners that have some trees that will, need.
Right now, I think I'm okay. As we get deeper into the winter, I'm hoping that we'll have a stockpile of kind of that emergency needs of people that didn't get enough through the winter. But I think I cut enough in the summer and that I've stockpiled enough right now to cover
Sounds good.
the winter needs this year.
Hopefully you won't be out there knee deep snow cutting.
Yeah. Well,
There are worse things to be doing.
That's true.
I would maintain, I doubt from my knowledge that we have a county employee that's using their personal vehicle any more than Jared is. Just all the time, and it's not driving to Canyon City to a meeting, man, it's beating your vehicle up and down these stinking roads that are off out in the boon stickers and throwing firewood in it, and
Yeah. There's no doubt that it's a
I'd be swallowing it.
It's a
my
wear,
vehicle.
a wear and tear expense for sure. So yeah, if it's possible in the future to scrounge up the money or the resources to, to get an adequate.
We should be,
vehicle,
I mean,
it's
that's something that has to be done.
I would think so. It's just for, what I've been hired to do and the constituents that I've been, tasked with helping, that's just kind of one essential tool that I need in order to like fully accomplish that job without running myself broke.
Did you
Process.
include a vehicle request in your budget?
I haven't even got to it yet.
I would encourage you to do that.
Put it in there and see we can do the same thing for agencies, OEM and sheriff. You're in that department.
Okay, all right, will
We
do.
give you a building. Not
Yeah,
asking you to use your home.
yeah. Which I'm surprised about.
Yeah.
And there may be a sheriff's pickup coming. They can four-wheel drive.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you might want to go talk to them to see what,
Okay,
Well, they're short vehicles.
I know they are.
So I just think we tried that once, right? We got you a vehicle from another department. It's a
Yeah.
piece of junk.
yeah,
So there's a reason the sheriff's department's gonna get rid of theirs. They got 280,000 miles. So. Yeah, I would just expect to see that on your budget request, whether it gets funded or not. I can't speak to that, but
no. And then also there's an organization in Pueblo. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I think it's the American Center for American Values.
Taking this back.
I am, yeah, I gotta, if you all can, if I get somebody to sign it. They do a big food distribution every year. This year it's November 12th, and they've offered us 80 boxes of food to bring up for the holidays for veterans. It's 8, and they want it all at once. They want me to make multiple trips, and I don't want to make multiple trips. So I'll just put it out there. I don't know if anybody has like an enclosed trailer that could potentially be utilized for that day. It's a Saturday, November 12th is the pickup date on it. So
in Pueblo,
yes, sir. It's in Pueblo.
so it's probably,
I have-
you could haul it in a quote unquote semi-enclosed horse trailer and get it up here during. the
Yeah,
day
no
without
problem.
freezing
Yeah.
it.
'Cause the only thing my only trailers are like equipment trailers, and I don't
No, we haven't had a roach yet.
Yeah, it would ride well. So just put it out there if you all know anybody or are willing to put me in contact with somebody that could help me grab those food boxes. It'd be greatly appreciated. 80 boxes that's quite a bit of food to bring out here.
Yeah, I think I can sure get us a big
Yeah.
full horse trailer.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind towing it. I don't have a personal trailer that would suit me for that specific task.
I've got a flatbed.
Yeah, I do too.
So
I don't think that'd work as well with a close trailer, but let me make a phone call.
All right. Besides for that,
November the 12th.
yes, sir.
food pickup.
Yeah, I don't have a time on that yet.
Okay.
Where is it?
November 12th, down in Pueblo.
How many boxes?
It's 80.
80.
Pallets.
That I don't know yet. I'm assuming that they'll be on pallets. They probably will. And of course, it's a horse trailer, so you wouldn't be able to load it. So,
Right.
but I don't mind doing the labor part of loading it if I could just have a vessel to load it in.
Okay.
Preferably a relatively clean
Yeah,
horse trailer.
we can't fit it.
I know it's asking a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I would move we approve the VSO report as submitted today.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor to approve the BSO report as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
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 And the place you mentioned, the Center for American Values.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I know the guy that started that, and I mean, we got a lot of money down there. They might be able to help you out with a vehicle of some kind.
I've never worked with them before, so I mean, they reached out to me about this. So yeah, I'm kind of anxious to maybe establish that relationship and see
Check into that.
see what they
because,
can do.
I mean, the guy that was a millionaire, a dentist that made a lot of money and family dentist practices around, and he's put a lot of money into that, supporting veterans. And
Yeah.
There might be some option where they could help you find a vehicle.
Yeah, they seem very willing to help. So yeah, like I said, I'm anxious to see where it goes in the future.
Okay, well, thank you.
We're
for coming in.
I've got an 88 that you can drive.
There you go. Did I get that report back?
Yep.
She's making a
copy of it now.
All right.
See you later, Darren.
Good to see you. Take care.
Thank
See you,
you.
sir. Take care of yourself.
Okay, you got
Thank you. Well, have a good day.
Yeah, thanks for coming over.
Any additional items of business, sirs?
I don't want it to end.
it.
Ignore him.
Okay, I'm hearing none. Public comment. Anybody have anything they would like to comment on, feel free to do so at this time.
I just have a question for y'all.
Okay.
When it comes to the commissioners' meeting dates for 2023, is that something that just gets carried over always the first and second Tuesday? I wanted to update the calendar for 2023. But I wasn't sure if that was something that.
We work on that
Yeah.
internally
We have a
and
meeting on.
vote on it in January,
Okay, that's what I didn't know.
a little early.
And we'll
If it
change
was-
things when they happen.
I wasn't sure if it needed to be approved or not, so.
It does need to be approved. We normally do that in January.
Last year,
Or
we actually
December.
did it in December.
That's
and it
right, we
worked
moved
better.
up, didn't it? That's right. So, yeah, typically in the past, Kelly and I've come up with a rough draft, presented that to the commission.
Okay, I just, thank you for the
And then
clarification.
somewhere in the middle of the year, we go ahead and modify some
Yeah.
of the stuff that it conflicts with.
Or somebody modifies it.
There you go.
It happens.
I can do that. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands raised online. I'm hearing nothing else here. Meeting will be adjourned at 11:13 a.m.
Hey, good job.
Good news. All right.